it's the first morning doing this, as a single mom. And my son keeps asking, is Dad coming? I just want to be loved, and I just want a safe love. And I'll be honest, it feels so similar to having a death in your family. But, I think a piece of me will always remember. Anyways, yeah.
Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're looking at the story of a woman who decided to end her marriage after her husband accused her of being unfaithful. Before we get into the details, we'll look at the events that led to the separation and why some believe her choices played a major role in the breakdown of the family. Let's take a look.
I'm sitting here in the car rider line to drop my son off at preschool. And it's the first morning doing this, as a single mom. Dad wasn't home last night. And my son keeps asking, is Dad coming? And even though, even though I know I personally am not 100% to blame, I feel so destroyed in the fact that in some way, I'm letting them down. And that in some way, because I'm choosing this separation, I'm causing them trauma that they will later have to heal from. And nobody, can prepare you for these emotions.
This situation shows a family going through a very painful moment. The narrator believes this woman could see the emotional impact the separation was having on her children, but still chose to move forward with it. Her husband, who already had doubts about the relationship and suspected infidelity, reacted by asking her to leave the home.
A year ago, I found out I was pregnant with my fourth baby, right after finding out that my husband kicked me and my children out of our home. I am going through so many emotions today, a year later. When I first found out about that pregnancy last year, I was so upset. I was devastated that we were having a fourth child. I struggled with so many emotions then because I wasn't supposed to be able to have children. And God has thankfully blessed me with 4 beautiful children. I was in such a emotional conflict of how could God be giving me and my husband that baby, but also so thankful. That's gone on over the course of the year, from when he had kicked me and my kids out of our home and just the stuff that's going on now. That is why I was so upset about the baby. I wasn't necessarily upset about the baby. I was upset that another child was going to be without a dad full time. I was upset that another child was going to have his dad not be present. When I think about me and my husband separating and divorcing, that makes me feel like the biggest failure as a mom, because I feel like I failed them in the choice that I made when I picked who to spend my life with and who to have children with. And if none of this makes sense to you, please keep scrolling. But if this resonates with any of you, please know that you are not alone. I can tell you, a year later, that baby is such a ray of light in my life. But I still have those emotions of just feeling like such a failure if me and Dad separate, because I am taking a father away from 4 children. And I know that I'm not technically doing it, but that's just how it feels in your head, is that your choice of who you married and decided to have kids with played out this way, and this wasn't the way you envisioned your life. And I'll be honest, it feels so similar to having a death in your family. I have so much respect for single moms. You guys are true rock stars. Truly can't believe it's been a year since I found out I was pregnant with him. And for those of you that have been along for the journey, thank you for the love and support.
After that, she returned to social media and shared her side of the story, presenting herself as the one who was hurt. However, The narrator points out that there were still unanswered questions surrounding the accusations of cheating.
I just want to remind you guys, if you're asking for a safe love, like that shouldn't be too much to ask for in your life. I know for me, like, in my marriage, especially when only being like 5 months out from having my third child when it occurred, I struggle so bad because, like, I just want to be loved and I just want a safe love. And I feel like I've never had that. I feel like I didn't have a safe love, like, in my parents. It was conditional. And I feel like I've never experienced a safe love, like, as an adult.
The narrator argues that a husband would not normally remove his pregnant wife from the home without a serious reason. They believe there is more to the story that has not been shared. After looking further into the situation, the narrator found a clip where she talks about her husband and his friends believing she may have been unfaithful and questioning whether all the children were biologically his. The narrator asks viewers to pay attention to her tone and the way she speaks when discussing the possibility of a DNA test, suggesting that her reaction may reveal more than her words alone. The clip provides more background on the situation. In it, she admits that she was unfaithful earlier in the relationship. Some viewers responded by saying that past behavior can raise doubts about trust, while she defended herself by explaining that she has changed and is no longer the same person she was before.
When me and my husband met, I was not in the best place. Just personally, I'd come out of a very physically abusive relationship, and I didn't want any kind of commitment. I liked my husband. I wanted to date him. I wanted to have fun with him, but I did not want commitment. And that man fought for me day and night when I was the worst version of myself. Me and my husband have known each other since we were younger, and during that time, I was not myself, and he fought to get me back to who I was. I was not good to him. I honestly could care less at the time, and he really, like, fought for me. And I am changed. I'm a product of a changed person who did it once and would not do it again because of the love that that man showed me and because of God. Now, I'm not saying that's typical, that cheaters, change or whatever. Like, I know what you mean. Bad people are bad people. But I know that people can change. Anyone who has stayed knows it takes work, dedication, healing, forgiveness, so many other things from both people. It's not the easy choice. And leaving is not the easy choice. Breaking up your family, starting a new life, that is not the easy choice. No choice is easy. But I don't think that people don't change because I am here a product of a change.
The narrator points out that her husband stayed with her through difficult times and chose to forgive her past mistakes, including the earlier betrayal in their relationship. However, according to the narrator, she is now considering ending the marriage because her husband has doubts and believes she may have been unfaithful again. In the next part of the clip, she explains that her husband and some of his friends believe she cheated and even question whether all the children are biologically his. The narrator asks viewers to pay close attention to the way she speaks when discussing a possible DNA test, including changes in her tone and pace, and decide for themselves how they interpret her reaction. The clip is longer, but it provides more context about the situation and allows viewers to understand both sides of the story.
Be handling everything, so I wanted to talk about this. I didn't really touch on anything about co-parenting or the divorce over the weekend. I went traveling with my kids, and I did vlog our travels, but I really just focused on some time with them and tried to get my mind off of things. But I try to share both sides on here, like the good and the bad, in an appropriate space, what's appropriate to share. But let me tell you, I am not, like, okay. There are nights after the kids are asleep, I'm laying on my bathroom floor screaming, crying, pleading with God, and begging for mercy. So, and healing is not linear. There are days that are really great and days that are really hard. And I feel like I have so much to mourn, and I'm like aware that it's okay for that to like be a process and take time, because I will be mourning a marriage. I will be mourning a family. I will be mourning somebody who was my best friend, my partner in life, and that will probably, when I get to that aspect, hurt the most. Like, because when I think about those aspects, like, those are the things that makes me so emotional. I'm gonna be mourning like my kids' relationship with their dad, because even though they'll have one, it's not gonna be the same. It's already not the same. There's just a lot to mourn. I'm going through my 5th pregnancy completely alone. And while at times, like, we have been able to be cordial, there is no, like, checking in on me, and there's none of that. Like, how I'm doing, how the pregnancy's going. He has come and he has co-parented and he has helped, and that was great. But there was a shift in our co-parenting also over the weekend. You guys have known, because I've come on here and talked about it, that, I mean, he was showing up. He was calling the kids morning, noon, and night, texting every day, checking in on them, talking to them throughout the day, multiple times a day. He was coming over as often as he could. I mean, it was almost like anytime he could find a reason to come, he would come. He would be super helpful. He would spend time with them. And then it was his weekend to go south. And I had kind of already prepared for this in my heart. I know him and I know his patterns and behaviors, and so I was kind of prepared for it. But he didn't call the kids all weekend, didn't try to talk to them, and might have checked in with me here and there to see, like, you know, if they were okay or whatever. And his way of making up for it is like helping extra financially or whatever, and trying to mend it like after. And that's kind of always been a cycle. For some reason, he can't do both. If he's being dad to his older son and daughter, he for some reason can't be dad to our kids, or he feels like if he's being a great dad to our kids, then he can't be a great dad to them. And I don't know why he can't find the middle ground, but he never has been able to. And it makes me incredibly sad. And I struggled with it really bad over the weekend, and I had a good friend remind me over the weekend, I'm not responsible for anything he does, and I can't keep my children from that pain. And as a mother, that kind of crushes you, because all you want to do is protect your children from pain and trauma. And I can't do that. All I can do is show up and be a constant and be there for them. And a lot of people say, like, oh, they'll see who he is and stuff like that. And that's 1000% true. They already do. My son is already realizing he's not someone he can count on or trust, which is sad. It's sad to see my son feel feelings about his dad that, like, I felt about him, you know, in our, like, romantic relationship or our parenting relationship. But even though, like, I know that that doesn't make it any better. It almost kind of makes it worse for me, like, knowing that and hearing that, because, like, this isn't a contest to me. It's not like a popularity contest. These are my children, and I wish their dad was someone who was constant and could be counted on. And I have kind of kept my mouth shut on everything and just kind of talked about my experiences. But there was like a shift in that over the weekend too, because he's allowing the people in his circle to speak so negatively about me. I'm a horrible mom. This baby can't be his, even though it 1000% is. And I cannot wait for a DNA test to just shut everyone up, because there literally is a 1000% chance that it is 100% his. Like, I have not been with anyone in any way since I started dating him, so there wouldn't be a chance in the world for it to be anybody else's baby. And then over the weekend, like, things were said that got told to other people, so it was spread that like we're getting a divorce, and it's all my fault, which is so funny to me, because if I came on here and told my true story from when things changed, which is when we started having children, you guys would not believe the stories, because I didn't believe them. I lived in it, and I didn't believe them myself, and I was living in it. So it's just really frustrating, but there's been a shift in our co-parenting. It's not cordial at the moment. And I just find it really frustrating that this man can't hold adults in his world accountable for their actions and the things they say, and ask them to remain respectful to the mother of 4, almost 5 of his children that he has spent almost 6 years married to and 7 years with. So yeah, I'm not handling everything well. I'm handling it to the best of my ability, because I have 4 kids who depend on me to do so. And don't get it twisted, my kids see me cry when I'm sad. They see me cry sometimes. We talk about emotions. We talk about sadness. We talk about anger. When I'm angry, we talk about appropriate ways to handle anger. And there's times I'm not at my best. I was so thankful over the weekend. My son was just lashing out. He had a lot of big emotions, expressing how angry he was at his dad, how he wished someone else was his dad. And it manifested in him not listening to any adult. He was acting out, and I was losing patience in the parenting aspect of it. I could see the emotional side, but I was still losing patience as a parent. And my mom was able to step in and be like, you got to take a step back. You got to calm down, because this isn't him just being defiant, not listening to you. This is coming from an emotional place, and you're his only constant. So take a minute. And I was really thankful for her being able to step in, and then she was able to be there and help comfort him until I could kind of regulate. But I'm handling it to the best of my ability. I am a human, and I have 4 toddlers, and I'm pregnant, 15 weeks pregnant, and I'm doing it alone. And I'm learning for the first time how to navigate in this space, in this reality. And so I do appreciate the compliments of I'm handling it so well, because I'm trying to handle it to the best of my ability. But I do want there to be both sides shown, that while I'm trying to do my best and move forward, I am extremely heartbroken, and I am extremely sad. And this isn't what I wanted for my family in any capacity. And it's really sad that there really isn't another option moving forward. So
The narrator believes she is struggling with the consequences of the choices she made, and that seeing her children face difficulties is causing her emotional pain. According to this viewpoint, the situation has affected the entire family, especially the children.
I was prepared through this journey for me to be hurt and me to be emotional. And I knew that my children would hurt. But literally nothing prepares you for the questions that they have. And how you have to be so very careful with your answer, because you're answering about another one of their parents. But you also are having to be so mindful about what you are teaching them in life and about people, and because you want them to be good humans. And watching your children hurt and cry and scream because they're angry or they're sad or they're mad when they're so little. Break my heart all you want, because I'll recover. But I think a piece of me will always remember how my children felt through this, and some of the things that they've said. And I heard another mom say it before, I will never forget what my child was put through. I think it becomes a permanent part of your memory. You can't protect them from it.
The narrator argues that one of the most important ways to support children is by creating a stable and healthy family environment. In this situation, they believe everyone involved is experiencing pain because of the decisions that were made. The narrator criticizes people who make major life choices without considering the long-term effects, then later feel overwhelmed by the challenges that follow. The message is that people must take responsibility for their decisions and learn from their experiences. To everyone watching, remember to protect yourself, stay focused on your goals, and continue building the life you want. Thank you for all the support. If you enjoy this content, please like, subscribe, comment, and share so it can reach more people. Take care.